tell you everything I've seen, the friends I've made, and then you tell me how you've been. Look a little closer, it's been quite some time. You gotta let me know if I'm out of line. But there's some words that I just wanna use.
So today we're moving our base camp a little further, a few miles northwest of where we've been hanging out. And the name of the area is Hawkins Bridge. Again, another bridge. And we're going to be exploring the northwestern area around Hawkins Bridge, looking for, there's a tavern, another tavern, Eagle Tavern, and exploring some of that area up there. So here we go. So we're heading into our drop site. Talk about, you know, this is what I mean when I say if I had anything larger than this 15 TB, you know, the GeoPro 15 TB, it would be a whole lot less exciting exploring, because it would limit where I could go, for sure. Okay, so we've moved on for this new adventure to an area of the forest that's a little bit, I'd say, more north-central, northwest of where we were base camped earlier, before this. And this place is known as Hawkins Bridge. And Stella is getting familiarized. Come on. Now this camp area seems to be totally void of humanity, which is the way I like it. Especially in the wintertime, you can count on that a lot here in the Barrens. Even though the primitive areas are fairly well situated, the sites are, you know, very isolated, but nonetheless, sound carries and so on. So anyway, we're at Hawkins Bridge, and we are going to give you a little bit of a tour around. Stella needs to stretch her legs. Funny story is that we dropped the GeoPro, and no sooner I hadn't even unhitched it, and these guys pull up in a four-wheel drive Ford pickup and say, hey, my dad's truck is stuck down the road, and you know, do you think you can give us some help? I said, I got all kinds of recovery gear, and yeah, sure, let me unhitch and I'll help you as well. Long story short, went down there and winched him out. He was stuck in a huge mud puddle, and you know, but so that was a little bit of excitement. So I'll give you a little bit of a tour around the camp area, if Stella allows. She's doing her thing where she's just got to smell literally every leaf in the forest. Right, Stella? Okay, come on, let's go up here. There's a water pump, and that's the only source of water in the area. There are some pit toilets in the area, but the only sound I can hear is the rustling of the leaves I'm stepping to. Right, Stella? Huh? Oh, she's all excited. Yeah, this is like, this must be a gold mine for her. Right, Stella? You liking all these smells? So quiet. It's beautiful here in the Barrens. Now you can see the leaves off the deciduous trees. And anything green, you can tell, well, that's why they call it the Pine Barrens. The dominant species here. All types of pines. Cedar and white. All kinds. Pitch pine is, I guess, the most popular. Coming up here on a little trail down to the river. I'm not going to go down there too far because I don't want to have to worry about Stella. Or actually, I'm using her as an excuse. But yeah, you can see it's very quiet. It's got a little bit of a current. In the summertime, or in the spring and summer, this is a big kayaking area right here. So, there you go. So we just left base camp to head out on our adventure for the day, up into a road that'll take us through the northwest section of the Wharton State Forest. And what we're looking for is something called the Eagle Tavern. Again, these things were all called taverns, but essentially, I mean, they served, we think of a tavern as a bar, but these were inns where people could, on stagecoach routes, could get food and shelter and, yes, refreshments, let's say, including alcohol, I'm sure. On those cold winter nights, I'm sure the whiskey was flowing. Anyway, and from what I understand, there's also, we may stumble across an abandoned cemetery. So we're going to head up that road, see what we can find. It's now called Eagle Road. I think back in the day it was called the Speedwell Washington Road. You notice that name Washington shows up in almost everything we do on the roads, right? Yes, because well, back in the 1700s, you know, he was a hero, right? So he's still a hero, but nonetheless, people were left and right naming this road Washington, that road Washington, this town Washington. So let's go have some fun. So I do believe we've located the graveyard. It is just, maybe 30 feet off of the this trail, and appears to have a fence of some sort. Although my guess is it was much. It looks totally. It's in the woods, so let's get out and take a look at it. But my guess is there's not many graves still available. From what I understand, this is there is like a monument, not a monument, a marker here, and looks It was probably erected back when the state took over these lands back in the 1950s. So we'll see what it says. But from what I understand, these graves could date back to, you know, the very early 1800s, even the late 1700s. So doesn't look very large what's left of it, what's fenced in. So we'll see. Here we go. Well, what'd you think of that, Stella? Pretty nice find there, huh? 1839 is there's only 2 gravestones left there. For what I read on the sign, they had thick pine slabs covering the grave, so that would explain why, you know, the earlier graves probably were done that way, and they're not any longer visible. The stone slabs are very, very worn. Of course, they're what, 170 or 165 years old. So that would explain why there's not much left to this cemetery. And it does look like in the 50s when they took over, they being the state, they tried to preserve what was left. I'm surprised it's still here. Well, I'm not even going to give coordinates, anything. It's here, and Stella, we found it, and you got to see it. So now we'll understand that the Eagle Tavern is on this same trail, and it's nearby here, so we've got to keep our eyes open and take a look if we can see. I do believe there is a marker as well for that somewhere. Could be overgrown, it could be knocked down, who knows, but we'll see what's left of the Eagle Tavern. Okay, so we have come across the site of the once Eagle Tavern, and yes, there is a marker. And so we're gonna take a walk. It's on a rise, so we'll go up there and see what's left. I don't see anything, you know, that pops out, and my guess is it's just cellar holes. So now this thing was built apparently in 1799, and you know, so that's where we're dating back to. So these cellar holes are what, 124 years old. 1799, 1899, 224 years old. Wow. So it's just started to rain. We're gonna make this quick. Ready, Stella? Yeah, she's chomping at the bit to get up this hill. I don't see anything down here so much. There is a little bit of an impression right there where that log comes, you know, right here, right in this area, a little bit of one. And then, let's go, Stella. Okay, here we go. Right in front of us here is a very small impression. And then it appears there's a little bit larger, well, a lot larger one right here, right in this area, where Stella is going to explore. What are you smelling there? And then, apparently, there is yet another right back behind this pile of whatever this is, logs. There's another impression. So I'm not sure why they're irregularly separated and such. My guess it could be soil erosion and movement and whatnot. But this was, if you take the one, that down there is definitely a separate depression right there. So if you take them all put together, it was quite a large, for those days, quite a large building. And was set up nicely right at an intersection here. You can see the Jeep. So we're quite, you know, I mean, for New Jersey, this is a mountain. No, I'm only kidding. South Jersey, this is called a rise. It's just more sand piled higher and deeper, that's all. And it's somewhat down the road. You can see it's we're in the middle of the forest, so I'm sure they don't get many patrons at this tavern anymore. Okay, Stell, what do you say? Huh? Let's go see some more stuff. Let's go drive back to camp. So there we have the conclusion of another adventure in the New Jersey Wharton State Forest, Pine Barrens. And I hope you had some enjoyment out of it, and for those of you that may visit, tread lightly, and hopefully you will like and subscribe and help our fledgling channel here. Comment, tell me what you think of these videos, and I'd like to hear from you. If there's places in the Barrens that you'd like to know more about, let me know. And in the meantime, Stella and I appreciate you joining us, and we hope to see you down the road.